And we're off. It is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Tuesday, the 11th of February, AD 2025. And we're going to have a fun show, everybody. Let me read to you guys some news as we get going. Let's see over here. I will be taking your calls, as you all know. But we have some fun stuff that is happening in the world today. Such as Trump bringing back the plastic straws. Are you happy about that? By the way, you can catch Hake on YouTube. What's up, YouTube people? You can catch Hake on Rumble. You can catch the Anchor Baby on Rumble. And other platforms. Facebook even. Well, Hake on Facebook. I don't know. Anchor Baby, do you stream on Facebook still sometimes? No. Okay. But yeah, Trump is bringing back the plastic straws. This is a little bit of the Hake news stuff. I thought that I would do a little bit of Hake news before we get into the into your calls and super chats and stuff. He signed an executive order encouraging you to use plastic straws, reversing evil, crooked Joe Biden's lame-o communist paper straw madness. Single use. It's not necessarily just single use. I like to reuse my straws. Anyway, a lot of whites don't like to waste. All right. So anyway, Elon Musk wants to buy ChatGPT's OpenAI for $100 billion along with some other investors. Unsolicited offer. So that Sam Altman guy, I don't think he's a Christian, said he'll take X for 10. He said, no thanks, but I'll buy X for $10 billion. But he didn't say X. He said Twitter, which it was renamed X by Elon. I sometimes slip and say Twitter, but it seemed like a defiant sign of disrespect for $9.74 billion or whatever. And Elon Musk posted that Sam Altman, the co-founder with Elon Musk, by the way, of OpenAI, or ChatGPT anyway. I think Elon left that company to pursue other things, make other things great. But Elon Musk called Sam Altman Scam Altman. Because Sam Altman pretended like, or acted like he didn't make any money, didn't take any paycheck off of OpenAI or ChatGPT or whatever. Talking to John Kennedy, the great John Kennedy in Congress, or Senator. And I don't know. It's hard to know when people are telling the truth or lying, but he's had this phony, humble look on his face. You know how people have a phony, humble look on their face sometimes? There was this guy, this homeless man who came up to me just the other day, and he's like, I have an EBT card with $67 on it, and I'm trying to, all fake humble, right? I'm trying to get a bus ticket down the road or something to that effect. I wasn't really paying attention because I already knew this guy's fake. And I was with this EBT card, which is food stamps, right? You can buy hot food or whatever you want with it. I'll give it to you for $30. I'm like, no, man, I don't have any. No. I said, no, thanks. He said, well, can I just have some water? I don't have anything. And I said, go across the street. I think they accept EBT across the street. And then he didn't say anything. Fake humble Sam Altman, fake humble homeless man. That's the evil human nature. Shout out. But anyway, that's my story about the homeless bum and this bum who's running OpenAI ChatGPT. I don't know anything about him, actually. Package delays from China. Your Amazon orders, your Shein. I heard that it's pronounced not Shane or Shine or whatever, Shein. Your Temu. Is it because of Trump's tariff thing? U.S. Postal Service in chaos? I don't know or care. Google Maps is complying with Trump's executive order renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and they will be changing the mountain known under Obama as Denali to Mount McKinley. So happy about that. Deadly bus crashes in these other countries, probably in America too, probably happening. 54 dead in Guatemala. That's crazy. Terrible. Am I silly for liking North Korea for taking care of the Russian soldiers? Isn't that kind of nice? You think of North Korea as inhumane, but they're taking care of Russian soldiers who are hurt from the Ukraine war. War, war is not hell. I think, war is not necessarily hell, although you could say it is. Big Bump and I have agreed that war is hell, but it's not necessarily all hell. War is from hell. The hell in you, in them, in the people. Nice. A little side note. Gaza mess. There's all kinds of mess going on. Hamas and the Jews trying to Hamas or Jew each other. Shout out. I disavow. But it's true. And Trump is like, oh, no. Unleash hell on Gaza, on Hamas, Israel. Unleash them. I saw this one fighter guy who's like opening his mouth a lot. Shout out. This is America. You can open your mouth in America. But he's like, if Trump keeps this up, I'm going to start waving a Palestinian flag. I'm like, oh, Lord, calm down. This fighter guy, I'm blanking on his name. The judge blocked Trump's slashing of billions of dollars in National Institutes of Health funding. And there's probably some good things funded by the National Institutes of Health, I guess, maybe. You know, it might be worth cancer research, maybe. Shout out. I'm not sure. A little bit, yes, sure. But some of that stuff is evil. A lot of it is, bet you, evil. And the judge blocked it and then accused Trump of not complying with his block. I don't know. It's crazy. Not complying with his blocking of slashing the funding of the National Institutes of so-called Health. Oh, what a mess. So changes in the government. I think that Trump is making some good changes and the judges are trying to stop him, but we'll see what happens. The DOJ ordered that you drop your corruption charges on that black mayor of New York, Eric Adams. You know, not practically. I was going to say practically every black politician, but I don't know if it's nearly that. But so often, a black politician gets accused of corruption. And is it because they're more corrupt per capita or less slick than like the Jewish and white and Asian and Mexican per capita? I don't know. It seems like it. But Eric Adams, he might be, he seems to be agreeing with Trump because this immigration invasion is a problem. So right on to him. The IRS, there's been IRS agents deputized to help with immigration enforcement. Trump doing that? Nice. And Trump doesn't necessarily see J.D. Vance as his successor, it's awfully early to be doing that. And good for him for not doing that, because remember what happened with Mike Pence. We all thought Mike Pence is Trump's humble Christian sidekick. He's like the plain-faced Mr. Fields guy, or whatever that guy is, but the straight-faced one, not the one who's crying, in the memes. And then Trump is the Pepe, the frog with a sly smile. And then he's not Soy Jack, but something Jack. Not sure. But we thought that Pence was okay, but he's not. And so, too, Vance might not be okay. And also, we don't know. We're thinking way too far into the future. So shout out to Trump for not seeing Vance as his successor. That's cool. More tech layoffs. And there's more news. There's more news coverage of getting rid of the penny or stopping the penny stuff. So we'll see what happens. It's kind of fun stuff happening in the news, I say. Anyway, guys, the lines are filling up. You can call in 1-888-775-3773. We have super chats to get to. I did see one from Greggatron at least, and others. I'm looking down on from Mount Baldy. Very beautiful scenery. And anyway, guys, let's just get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. I have somebody said Hake has his edgy shirt on today. Part of the reason that I did buy it is because it does say Zion, and a lot of you guys are anti-Zionists, and you talk about, I'm a Zionist. But also because I like the style. People say has like a black sun. I don't know if this is good or bad or whatever, but I just think that it's kind of a cool look. And a lot of metal people are Christians, even though it looks demonic or satanic. A lot of their metal stuff, metal music. A lot of them are Christians. They're in my chat. Shout out to you guys. Hey, that was a rough one, says Clayton. My bag. Zionists are all flat earthers, says Kevin. No, we're baltards. Hake woke my baby up. Oh no. See, I told you that babies and children catch hake. So mothers, let me know if any of your children called you the Spanish word for stupid. After the other song, after that song yesterday for Mexican Monday. Sweet. I would like to get to a call or two before we get into some of these disturbing stories. Will in Australia is on the line. Will, thank you for calling, man. How you doing?
Good, my man. How you doing this morning?
Doing fine. Thanks.
That's good. That's good, sir. I'm sure you can see what I said to Derek before about the question.
Well, that you want to talk about Black Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah. I don't know why I went down that rabbit hole last night, but I was very intrigued to find out how it started and, for whatever reason, what else started around it.
How did it start in a sentence or less?
Well, it started from that bloke, what's his name? Well, it didn't start from him, but that Marcus Garvey dude.
Oh.
Had a big influence on the early influence of it. And one thing that I found quite interesting, just to sort of not veer off, but I was wondering why it started and when it started and then what else started around it. You'd be surprised that the Nation of Islam started around about the same time. It was a little bit earlier.
Oh wow!
The Pentecostal Protestant movement. That was a little bit later though. The New Age movement, the feminist movement, the anti-war movement, the LGBTQ plus rights movement. This is all within a few decades or so. The counterculture movement.
Yeah.
And yeah.
A lot of changes, huh? I wonder what prompted all of that. If that was like the rise of America and people started getting spoiled and so they started in their spoiling, they started wandering in their minds, thinking about silly stuff that they didn't need to be thinking about, maybe?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Interesting.
It was, I went into my mind last night. I know I'm not supposed to, but I was thinking maybe it was like a bird shot or a buck shot of PsyOps just to confuse the planet.
I mean, your mind is a PsyOp, if you think about it. The ideas that you get are a PsyOp, and people follow one another. They think that each other has... They think that one another have good ideas when they don't. When we don't, you know, they follow one another. They get, or even if you say something quote unquote true, like stuff from the Bible or stuff that's just that rings true to somebody, they'll hold on to that and they'll get puffed up and in pride, and pride is a lie. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, shout out to when I searched Black Hebrew Israelites, the far left Google AI said African Hebrew Israelites. What? Please. They don't call themselves African. They say we're different from the Africans. We're Israelites.
Oh, that was another thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was another thing. That I think they were a big portion of it. They I think whoever that was that I was talking about before, or someone else, I can't remember exactly, but they were trying to identify with their African heritage.
Yeah, right.
And they wanted to migrate back or something, or at least, you know, recognize their heritage.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I don't know how much more you want to talk about that, but
not necessarily, unless you had other insight about it that stuck with you.
No, not really. That was about it, my friend. I got another thing just about the topics that you were talking about today. The Israel and Hamas war. I've talked about it at work a couple of times, and some of the biggest, toughest, brawniest blokes you'd ever seen in your life think it's a genocide.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Let me ask far left Google AI. Is
it'll probably
committing a genocide against Palestinians? And so what do you say? Or what do they... Did you say anything to them? What's their reasoning?
Well, the only reason why genocide's brought up is because, you know, it'll be on the radio in the background or something, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm for Israel. And then...
You said that? Or what?
No, I said that. I said I'm for Israel.
When you hear stuff on the radio.
Yeah, on the radio, you know, news stories and things like that about Bibi and all that mess.
Yeah.
And then people look at me and go, "It's a genocide." But like it's a genocide of of Hamas or the Palestinians or whatever. And I'm thinking, yeah, but it's been a table tennis match for the last God knows how long.
Yeah. That's an interesting. So that's an interesting description. Table tennis. Ping pong. They've been playing ping pong. One throws a bunch of rockets, and they throw a bunch of picking off them back.
Yeah.
Not a friendly game of ping pong.
No, I call it anger tennis sometimes, or anger ping pong.
Yeah. No, you can call it table tennis. I like it.
Okay, table tennis.
Yeah. That's interesting, though.
Yeah. And one last thing, kind sir.
But before you get to that, I see the American Jewish Committee saying Israel is not committing a genocide. And then I see Amnesty International, a so-called human rights group, right? Saying they have concluded that Israel is Amnesty International investigation concludes Israel is committing a genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. And I don't know much about the American Jewish Committee, but a lot of these Jewish committees and Jewish stuff, they tend to be a little biased, right? You know, and I know for sure though, I know about Amnesty International. Amnesty International is one of those human rights groups, and human rights, that's a communist buzzword. They're a bunch of dumb liberals. They support abortion. They think abortion is a human right. If I'm not mistaken, they support the LGBTIQ madness. They're against Trump. They think that Trump violates human rights. So they're not to be trusted either. So I don't like either side when they're fighting. But I don't even, I feel that the word genocide is not really a legitimate word because it just, in a war, the dominant one is sometimes accused of genocide or whatever. And it's just basically shaming the people who are dominating. I don't want to say winning because neither side is really winning. They're both losing a lot.
Yeah, and it's war.
Yeah,
it's war. And when you throw in religion and things like that, it's almost like a virtue signaled war, and it's fueled by emotions. And
exactly.
Admittedly,
genocide is an emotional word. It's an emotional. Yeah. It's meant to make people react and feel sorry for those poor innocent. And I'm sure that there's some are poor and innocent of when they were, they didn't deserve to get killed, whatever. But when you're over there, you that's what happens. When you're in a war zone, you get killed a lot. And
like what you said, there is hell. It is hell, or it can be hell.
It's from hell, definitely.
It's from hell. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep. And the Hamas, blame Hamas. Hamas brought that on them.
Yep.
And then you can blame Israel where Israel may be doing some wrong things, but this is phony drama stuff. And they act like they're all objective with research and all that stuff. And it's madness. It's phoniness. It's political.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Not agree more.
Anyway, go ahead. You were talking about something else.
Yeah. This is the last thing I'll talk about, and then you can get on to the rest of the calls, because I know you're a popular fellow, my friend. What happened to the snake? And he's gotten really quiet since Trump got in. What's going on here?
Well, who knows? Stuff happens. People's lives change, and you can't really draw a conclusion based on your perception.
No.
Yeah. Because you're not seeing the whole picture of what's going on in somebody's life. So I don't know. We wish him well. Some might say good riddance. But shout out.
You know what? I used to like his calls sometimes, and I think towards the end he was agreeing with you more than not. And
interesting.
It was a surprise that he wouldn't say he was going to vote for Trump, but he said he wasn't going to vote for Kamala either. And it was like, okay, maybe he's just one of those non-voters that are just going to not vote.
Yeah.
But yeah. Actually, can I say one more thing? Actually,
sure. Yeah.
On wasting stuff, like plastic straws, glass jars, and all that sort of stuff. It's probably a bad thing, but I was sort of addicted to collecting all the jars of, the sauces and the marinades and all that sort of stuff. I've got like 6 or 7 boxes of jars just out in my garage, just because I felt like that was a waste. Like I could use that at some point.
I know.
Why would I get rid of it?
And you're white, right?
Yes, sir.
See?
Yes, sir.
It's a white. The whites are kind of like collectors, and they want to organize, and they just like, oh, what a shame. This could be. I'm not all whites, of course, but certain types of whites, like you and me, maybe, and I know some other people like to do that. And some whites are mamas, and they want to force that on the rest of the people. And yeah, and then you end up never using it, and then you end up throwing it out in the end anyway, or at least I do. A lot of times. Yeah. I do that with plastic bags.
Oh, dude, how bad is that? There's these, I'm not sure if you guys have got Aldi over there, but every time in the past, I now am a little bit more calculated about it. I'll come home first, I'll get the Aldi bags, and then I'll go. But every time I used to go to Aldi, I'd get 2 or 3 bags. So now I've got 3 or 4 Aldi bags full of Aldi bags.
Yeah, exactly. I keep one of such bags in my trunk. Yeah. So that whenever I go to the store, I can use my bags, or if I have some dirty clothes or running clothes, I can throw them in the bag or whatever. And Yeah, but it gets out of hand because you start collecting.
Yeah, it's likely my fault. I'm just not thinking.
Right.
Just thinking ahead, sort of thing. But yeah. Anyways, my friend, I'm gonna call out the Make America Australia Now movement. I've started it. The man movement. Make Australia America Now. Let's go.
Okay. Nice. Right on, Will. Appreciate it. Take care.
Have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Jermaine, a first-time caller out of Canada, is on the line. Jermaine, thanks for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, Hank.
Hey.
What's up?
Not much.
I was just calling because I know I think it was yesterday, right? The Punchie TV.
Yes, we were live on Punchie TV, YouTube, and we did a live stream.
Yeah. I wanted to touch a little bit on the pastor thing yesterday.
Okay.
I kind of agree with everyone in what they said. There were some good points.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when the pastor was preaching. I mean, you're allowed to go preach and say whatever. This is a free country, right?
Right.
But like the way I think Jesus would handle this situation, he wouldn't necessarily go in and just impose, I think he would handle it with more care and love. And I think when it's true love, like Jesse normally say, because you understand what's happened with you is happened to everyone.
Yeah.
You will show a better way of approaching a situation. And Jesus himself wouldn't go. Most stories in the Bible, they came to him. So it was, you just be an example of who he was, and people will just come to you because they will see that this guy's different. What's going on here? I want to figure out what's happened. It's curious.
Yeah.
Curiosity, so it will come. That's what I think. So it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, but I think he could have. Like he said, he was just there for more of a debate style, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with the gay guy too, because he was saying like this is not love the way like he approached the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective, man. I here comes this. I'm looking at this. Here, let me play a little bit of it, just so you guys can hear what it sounded like. Here's the guy talking about destruction will come out here on a day when pride, because you guys are pushing pride, and pride comes before the fall. God opposes the proud. And it's this guy, this preacher man, street preacher, if you will, outdoors preacher, preaching at a pride rally thing. We played it on Punchie TV. Here it is.
Is being exalted, and when LGBTQ plus is being praised and it's being lifted up as if it's this amazing thing. Hey, let's join in unity all together. If those things are leading people away from God, then it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense to come out here.
This is not the love
What are you
of
saying?
God. This is a love of hate is what you're doing. It's not teaching the Bible. It's teaching hate. Learn your Bible first before you come out and preach to the public about what you don't know. Because what you don't know, you're sinning the most way in the most ways you can know how.
Okay, so what is love then? What is love?
Judge. Stick to it.
Wow. So that was we played that clip and some other clips on Punchie TV, and so that's what Jermaine in Canada is talking about. And so you agreed with both the pastor and the gay guy about each other. Is that true?
Yeah. And from the way he was saying, like, because they're gays, like, you look down on them, like, you should be showing them more love, because we love the Jews.
I agree. We should be showing love, but people don't know how to show love because they think, oh, love means telling the truth. But you also tell the truth in love.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're led by the Spirit, because you can spout off the facts. You can spout off all of the facts, all of the pertinent and relevant facts. But if you have nothing, if you have no love, you're a clanging gong.
Yeah, it comes off ignorant.
Yeah.
And Yeah. Even yeah, I want to touch on the thing with the performance with Kendrick, because I watched the Super Bowl. The entire time I was watching the Super Bowl, I was like, I didn't see. Yeah, people are gonna say he did it for the culture, but I think that's just a way of saying, oh, it's okay to be a racist, because there was no white person in his performance lineup. If a white performer did that, it was just all white people and say, oh, it's for the culture,
Right.
that person would get backlash for it. So racism doesn't even exist. They just use it. So I was like, this is very interesting. You know?
That's interesting, man. This was what they had this rapper guy, Kendrick Lamar, very famous nowadays. He's been around for 15, 20 years, maybe more. And he performed at the Super Bowl. He got some Grammys over the years. And he was being into the black thing. And certain blacks, not other blacks, sort of excluding some other blacks, like the people whom he calls a PDF. Wow, what a mess. Yeah,
What a mess.
yeah, by the culture, he meant the black culture.
Mhm.
So not the American, we love America, we love white people culture.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, and the message in it was like, no, you don't need that. Should be showing love these days.
Right.
So that was my point on that. Like, I just think it was not cool, because, I mean, if it was any other artist that's white that did that, black people would be in rage right now. Like, no, we can't have that. This is America. Da, da, da. So
Right.
It was just, yeah.
Yeah. True. And you hit the nail on the head when you said we need love in the country, but these people are pushing hatred. And a lot of people are just beside themselves with hatred. Hatred of Trump, hatred of America, hatred of white people, hatred of one another. Looking down on, judging. It's crazy.
But I noticed it actually sells, actually.
Hate
Like
does?
Jesse said, people love their misery. They love the thrill of it. Because I was watching this street pastor like not too long ago, and this rapper was selling music on the side corner. So they're on a strip, like I think it was in Toronto.
Uh-huh.
And he was preaching, and there's a rapper on the other hand selling music, and they both got into a fight, and then it drew a crowd. So I was like, that's so interesting. The pastor is preaching. There wasn't a big crowd, but after the engagement with them, it drew such a big crowd. So I was like, that's so interesting. People just love this thrill of feeling somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's why all this ugly, nasty music is so popular.
Yeah. Mm.
Nice, man.
Interesting. All right, no worries, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your call, Jermaine. Call me again, man.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right, you too. Take care. Huh. Before I get back to the calls, I would like to show you guys, by the way, catch Punchie TV and let me know what you think, or let any of the Punchy guys know what you think. Let JLP know what you think. Do catch it. It was a interesting episode. We went 2 hours, from 2 till 4, basically. Nice. Shout out to JLP for the Rumble raid. He raided the Hake stream over on there. Nice. Yeah. And shout out to the D-Live crew, everybody. Got some super chats in, it looks like. Here, let me refresh. Greggatron gave me a super chat. Oh, Linya and Chin gave me some super chats. Let me read some of these, actually. Linya and Chin says, come on. Come on. Let me do this. No, that's not helping. Let me do this. Pinch and zoom. There we go. You just have to do it with authority. Linya and Shin said, Joel doesn't understand how or why Bible regurgitation, speaking of Punchie TV, is considered the same thing as give Jesus the wheel. His only sense of the Bible regurgitation is empty droning for Satan. God says your love is an abomination, said the preacher to the gays. Your quote-unquote love, the LGBTs, you know? And that's how JLP always interprets it, says Lin Yin-Shin. Whoa. Interested. Empty droning for Satan. And he also says, incorrect Christian culture. He didn't use quotation marks. In Derek's bias, D-E-R-R-I-C-K, bias, letting God speak through your memory of the Bible, that is their method to overcome what women intellectuals and Jesse call ego. It is their version of be still and know, the Holy Spirit presence, the letting God speak through your memory of the Bible. And that's not necessarily, neither one is necessarily the case, I think. And Lin Yin-Shin might agree with me that quoting the Bible is not necessarily empty droning for Satan, although oftentimes it is. And speaking the Bible is not necessarily overcoming your ego / your own evil opinions, darkness, imagination. It's not. It's not necessarily being still and know and Holy Spirit led when you speak the words of the Bible. Neither one is necessarily the case, I say. Thank you, Lin Yin-Shin. The obvious purpose of those two previous super chats is for you to discuss between Joel and Derek, not for you to confuse Jesse. Why would you pretend not to understand that unless you are asking me for one more super chat? This is robbery. And I'm not sure if I know how even to reimburse you for my robbery of you, Lin Yin-Shin. I did take a screenshot and sent them to my co-hosts and Derek, I guess, who was our co-host yesterday. I sent it to Joel, Nick, and Derek. Oh, and he spelled Derek correctly this time. Thank you, Lin Yin-Shin. I don't know. Well, I also wanted to pique Jesse's interest and talk about it on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, partly to promote Punchie TV. Is that okay with you, Lin Yin-Shin? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm a thief. And Greggatron, with a coffee, said thanks to William from California for the kind words yesterday on his ways to have a good life, you know? Yeah, there's no secret to gaining wealth. The wealth is already inside of us. We just have to see it and use it. Yeah, no man is bootless. All we need to do is, 1, work hard while we're young. 2, have kids only when we're ready. 3, treat those kids the way we want our parents to treat us. We're men in 2025. The complaining and blaming is over. If people call in with that victimhood mess, just tell them these 3 points and see what they say, says Greggatron. Very nice. Thank you, sir. I think I'm caught up on those, at least, oh, man. Hold on. Such a boomer. Okay. So I wanted to get to this disturbing story before I get back to the calls. A Democrat froze up the other day, and it's kind of sad to look at. And like, no, porque. Look at this. Raw's Alerts. I don't understand his name. Raw S Alerts. Breaking. Watch, a 76-year-old. 76? That's too young. Congressman, so-called man, Democrat. John Larson suffers what they call a medical episode while speaking on the House floor. And I halfway don't even want to, I hesitate to show it to you because it's a little disturbing. You guys remember when this happened to Mitch McConnell? Well, let me play it, okay? But if you're faint of heart or weak in stomach, you might avert your eyes, okay? But he's like talking all bold, so-called. He's a Democrat, okay? And talking about Social Security, and he slows way down, pauses, slows down, and just barely spits his words out and runs out of time. in his last minute and 45 seconds out of his 5 minutes talking. This is from C-SPAN, shared on X. Listen to this and watch if you can. Separate your emotions. This is the human body maybe falling apart.
Don't worry, no one on the Republican side in the House and Senate who control both the House and Senate is going to speak up.
See, he paused there, looking down.
And challenge us.
Ooh. No. Where's Lisa, our resident health expert? He's sticking his tongue around in his cheeks and lips.
But we need to protect Americans' privacy and their social security.
Connecticut Democrat. Isn't it rough to look at?
For 40%
Starting to talk like Biden a little bit, too.
all Americans, Social Security is the basis for their retirement and their retirement savings. And for 28 million Americans, Social Security is the only thing that they have. And that's why we have to make sure that we are protecting it as well.
What a mess. Turning the page all slow like Biden. Shout out to Biden, too. And Mitch McConnell, all these old guys. They're not that old either, by the way.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Time has expired.
The letter that
He's trying to talk a little bit more. And so people in the replies are talking about what they believe it to be. One guy is all, let's see if I can zoom in on this. Why do they all seem to have the same issue with freezing like this? You know how that Mitch McConnell guy, he talked and then he just froze and he just stood there with like a deer in headlights like this? For like a long time. Worse than that guy, kind of, except for this guy just went. He's like sticking his tongue around on his, I don't know if he suddenly started tingling or what went on, but it's crazy. They're like, why do they all have the same? Somebody's all, it's called a stroke. And then this person says, that's not a stroke. That is an absence seizure, a form of epilepsy. And I don't want to like these tweets because I don't know what it really is. I'll like this one asking why. Shall I retweet this? Cover your eyes, kids. Look at him. He's talking bold with attitude, and then he suddenly, listen to this.
don't worry, no one on the Republican side in the House and Senate who control both the House and Senate is going to speak up.
Look at that.
And challenge us.
Disturbing, huh? So some people calling it a stroke, some people calling it a seizure, epilepsy thingy, majigger. What do these people say? I love comments, because comments tell you what the people think. Thinking the same thing, especially when he started smacking his lips, goes back to talking, stops and stares off, doing weird things with his mouth. More common in kids, says that guy. Huh. I think it's a mini stroke. TIA. This person says, this Jenny gal, these women, oh my gosh, these women go crazy. And they may be right, I don't know, women live longer, you know? Shout out to, Lisa is our resident health expert over in commonly in the Facebook crew. I don't know if she's around, but, let me not get annoyed lest I get one of those things. Because he seemed to start judging. And it was, you know what crosses my mind? I disavow this, but what crossed my mind was like, kind of like when Jezebel said something in the Bible and God struck her down and worms ate her or dogs ate her or something like that. It's kind of like he's lying. I don't know if he's lying, but he's a Democrat and Democrats do lie. it was like God struck him. But I don't know. I'm sorry, God. Don't, let's not slander God like that. But it's terrible. We need physicians on the floor, says this gal, Jonesy. Hopefully that's not something bad. No one called for medical attention. He had a TIA/stroke, says this woman. I don't know if she's right. I don't know if that's her natural blonde hair or if that's tinted. No one called for medical attention. J-blank-C. That's short for Jesus. Odd middle name, Christ. This is obscene. It is. It's rough to look at, young lady. Anyone with medical knowledge would have called this out and called an ambulance. Amber lamps. And I don't want to like it because I don't know, but it is rough. We need physicians, says this person, Ash. We literally have a nursing home as our quote-unquote leaders. I have no medical degree and can see he is having a stroke, says this Jack person. A degree respecter. Democrats will do anything to keep their side in play. Oh, no. Stop it. And let me go back a little bit. It's not just Democrats, man. Even keep nursing patients there sick. I mean, Mitch McConnell did the same thing. But anyway, I just keep thinking this is someone's dad. Run him up an aspirin and call 911. F blank's sake. F blank S. Cussing lady she's like replying to everybody. Just unbelievable. She's getting all her thrills, maybe. Just unbelievable that not one person, no matter what side of the aisle, didn't check and make sure he was okay. It's what's wrong with this country. I don't know, maybe right after they did. They didn't want to interrupt him. He has the floor. As a Republican, I hope he is okay and well and nothing major is wrong. Praying hands, says Dustin. Right on, Dustin. If this were my dad, we would be in the ER. Pathetic Congress. I've never positively seen a stroke before. Holy cow. Is it okay to say holy cow? I hope he gets help. I wonder what TIA stands for. Mitch had one a few months ago. Multiple times. Same thing. He says. Let's see if I can find the Mitch McConnell one. Yeah, here's the Mitch McConnell one.
This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Mitch. He's standing there looking. The women try to help him.
Wait a minute. Are you good?
Okay, Mitch? Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
Wow. Poor
this
Mitch.
week has been good bipartisan.
Anyway, they both have a good head of hair. I mean, especially the Democrat did. Rough, huh? Woo. Makes me want to check Facebook. I don't see Lisa in there. Our resident health expert. Man. The human body breaking down and the way we live breaking it down faster. I shake my head. Such a bad way to live. Okay, let me get to a call or two, guys. Nick is a first-time caller in Florida on the line here. Nick, thanks for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Hey, it's the Hake news, not the fake news. How you doing, Hake?
Doing fine.
I was wondering, how can I share a clip with you? I want you to see this clip. It's, we have...
If you email it to me, you can email it to me or DM me. Now, you got to follow up on the emails and sometimes the DMs. The Twitter DM specifically on X, the Hake Report on X.
Twitter?
Yeah. I do... Sometimes it takes me a while to see them. But I'm even... I don't want to say IG because I'm not good at checking IG at all. But yeah, Twitter X DMs is probably the best way, or tag me on X. and I'll probably see it. And if you do a follow-up, then you make sure that I respond.
Yeah, I'll do a follow-up.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to like the clip. It's pretty funny.
Right on, man. That's
so
cool.
I'll send it through X.
That sounds good, man. Thanks for the call, Nick in Florida. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good one, Hake.
All right. You as well. Bye.
Bye.
Hake, what a mess. So that was Nick in Florida. Tip on X. Send tips to Hake if you want. Some people are sending me a bunch of tips. Some people send me a bunch of tips on IG, but I never open my IG, basically. And I ought to be better. Democrat freezes up on, what do you think about that Democrat freezing up on the stage? What's your cell phone number, Hake? We can just text you. I'm getting so bad with texts. I'm starting to treat them like emails. They'll text me and I won't respond for weeks, months, days sometimes. I used to be able to respond right away. I didn't get that many texts. And emails, I treat them like junk mail. So FYI, it's not slide in my DMs. It's not personal if I don't respond. Okay? Wow. Okay. Let me get to Nathaniel in Wisconsin, a first-time caller. Nathaniel, thanks for calling, man. What's up?
Hey, it's Hake News, not fake news. How's it going today?
Going well.
I wanted to call you about, because I reached out to you on Friday about me being deactivated from your show.
Oh yeah, I
for
got
the rideshare.
Yeah, I got that DM. Okay, so let me ask. I have some questions. I mentioned this, I think, on JLP's show. I think I read that on JLP's show. That you were playing my show, the Hake Report,
the Friday show
in Uber, and a rider complained to Uber, and you got fired promptly.
Correct.
Did he complain to you at all? Did he give any indication that he was dissatisfied, or she was, or did any rider? Because you don't know which rider it might have been, because you probably gave more than one ride. Did any rider?
I know exactly who it was.
Oh, did he? So did he give you negative feedback? Ask you to change it or anything?
First of all, she's black. So what happened was she was already late to the pickup, and it's usually about a 5 or 7 minute grace period, and it was a reservation, so she was already late, causing issues.
Yeah.
So when I picked her up, I noticed I heard her not to be mean or anything, but I heard breathing hard and chewing. I said, "Oh no, she's eating food in my car." So I said, "Hey," well, first of all, when she came in, I was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then, all was well, and she continued with the ride. And then I noticed she was eating. I said, "Hey, can you please stop eating in my car?"
Yeah.
And then immediately, this was relevant to your French-Canadian caller, and this is what he specifically said, and I don't know if this triggered her or not, or this is just her out of spite saying it, but the caller said something about when they call someone stupid, they call them Jews instead.
Oh, yeah. Right. I do remember that. That was edgy.
I don't know if that's the specific thing that she reported me for, but out of spite, because I told her not to eat, she was like, and well, there's kids watching. So she said, can you please turn that S word off because of the anti-Semitic feedback or whatever was said on the news.
Okay.
And I've been with Lyft for 2 years, and I'm a 5-star driver. Don't get any complaints except for exceeding the 12 hours that we're allowed to drive.
Okay.
And being a 5-star driver, immediately deactivated because of this.
Wow. Well, I mean, they are super scared of anything racist or so-called anti-Semitic, they being the corporate people. So, man, have you had any other negative feedback from playing me or JLP on your Uber rides?
No, not at all. My only complaints have ever been through Uber, which I'm also doing that. So it's not you at all, Hake. It's not you at all. So don't feel like.
Oh, I don't feel guilty because, you don't necessarily want to play a political show. I'm sort of political, you know. It's somewhat offensive to some people who are not used to hearing it, let's say.
Well, we just have some sensitive times, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, think this is just has to do with the that rapper. I'm not from Texas, I think, that she's suing Lyft for being discriminated.
Yep.
But here's the thing: we are contractors. We're not W-2 employees.
Right.
If I feel that there might be an issue with, you know, whether it's your carry-on for taking you to the airport, or I'll catch riders that smoke a cigarette before they even come to my car, and I drive, you know, I keep my cars clean, and I will completely cancel the ride without even talking to the rider for either smoking a cigarette as I'm approaching them, running late, or even the car seat situation. That's huge in my area. I'm sure other areas too. But this whole month was just one thing after another. Can I explain more of the story?
Sure.
Okay, and it'll be brief.
Okay.
So 3 weeks ago, I had a rider that I picked up from McDonald's, and he saw, because I record on YouTube and I have a dash cam, so he was asking me very personal questions about my safety and, you know, what kind of weapons I carry for my protection.
Whoa.
And I didn't want to exactly answer those questions just because I was on YouTube.
Not his business.
So, exactly.
So are you streaming? What do you mean?
Not right now. No. Not right
No. When you,
but I do. I do stream every time I'm with someone. Yes.
Oh,
just
so
because it's easier to pull footage from YouTube than it is through my dash cam.
Oh, so people aren't necessarily watching you, but you're streaming on your channel.
They do watch, actually. They actually tune into your show. They tune into I think they're more in tuned on what I listen to the radio than more of just watch me pick my nose while I drive people.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
So I picked up the rider. He was asking me very personal questions about my safety and how I protect myself. And again, I didn't want to answer those questions. I was like, hey, because I'm on YouTube, I don't want to answer those questions.
Yeah.
He said, oh, you're on YouTube. So he starts to throw up gang signs, and I immediately had to end the live and start over. And I explained to him, hey, don't do that. That will flag me from being able to record myself, and I'm only doing it for educational and safety reasons.
Right.
So because he was continuing to make me feel uncomfortable, I ended the ride.
Okay.
As he's getting out of my vehicle, this is where the kicker starts. As he's getting out of my vehicle, he pulls out a weapon, a boom boom stick.
Uh-huh.
And fires it at me. And I'm already, you know, driving away from the situation. And I have a police report. But that was my first report. I did get flagged for that. Discriminatory action for canceling the ride.
The guy shot at you?
Yes.
With a full-blown firearm?
With a boom boom stick, yep.
When you were driving off, after you had driven off a little ways?
So he was closing the door slowly, and I noticed that he was digging in his pants for, you know, obvious reasons.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, out of anger, he decided to use it again.
Did he strike your vehicle or you?
I didn't see any damage towards my vehicle. I'm perfectly fine, all's well. But yeah, I mean, I got flagged for it. And 2 weeks ago, I had 2 women that had kids under age of 5, no car seats, got flagged for those 2. And I was deactivated for 4 hours during that time.
Car seats over car seats or something?
Because they're supposed to provide car seats for their kids, and if they don't have car seats, that's obviously illegal.
Oh, right.
Drive a kid that's 5 years or younger.
Oh man, these new laws. I used to not need a car seat when I was 5. I went to the. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, the 4th strike, which permanently deactivated me, was watching a great show called The Hake Report.
You should have known better than that, though, man. Because some people are shy, and they won't be bold enough to ask you to turn it off. But she shouldn't have. She should not have. Well, she was just being malicious. It sounds like, because you ask somebody to turn something off because they don't necessarily have sense. People will play like offensive rap music.
And that's the thing is, like, when I'm picking up people from the club, I'm playing music towards that type of crowd.
Right.
And I'm a 5-star. I've never got complaints. So this something this serious when, again, I play you guys every single day because I can't play music if I'm recording on YouTube.
Yeah. That's insane.
I gotta listen to something.
Wow. That's crazy about the guy who allegedly shot at your car, according to you.
Yes. But
shot at
it's
you.
on my YouTube.
How far away was he when you? How far off were you when he shot? Was the door closed yet?
The speed limit was 30. So just imagine, maybe a Fast and Furious kind of scenario where I'm driving like that snake. Where is he from? Florida? Who's that caller that's a snake?
Oh, Phoenix.
Phoenix. So I was driving like a snake from Phoenix, and I heard it. I heard the boom boom stick go off.
That's crazy.
And then when I followed it to the police, they're like, "Well, are you sure it was towards you and not in the air?" I'm like, "Come on."
That's nuts. Whoa.
But
you had his identity, right? Didn't you have sort of his identity? Did you report it to Uber too? In addition to
so it
YouTube?
was the Lyft ride, yeah. So I did report him, and here's the thing: I didn't remember because I canceled it. You're not able to see history of a pickup drop off because I canceled it. So it's more of like, again, personal information.
Yeah.
So even the Lyft customer support, which is god awful, even Uber support is
I'm not
terrible.
surprised.
It's just a wall. It's just a barrier.
Yep.
They were refusing even
According
to
to
give
you.
the cops the personal information because we didn't know, allegedly, we didn't know exactly where I was until I was like, all right, well, this is the McDonald's, what it looks like.
Oh,
I
this
think I
makes
was on
sense. This makes sense. I'll tell you why it makes sense. These companies want to protect people's privacy. They will not surrender your information unless the police get a court order for a warrant. So they need a warrant to get that. Okay. No, I accept that.
And the police were just like, we need to know where this rider was and where the driver was.
Well, they should have gotten a warrant. They should have gotten a warrant.
Yeah. So
I wish you had turned on the recording, the live stream again, or was your dash cam recording even though it wasn't live streaming?
Yes. It's whenever my car is on, my dash cam is on. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the police have his face. What a mess.
Yes. I was able to give them everything they need for this rider. I'm sure they locked him up. I just never got any follow up.
Well,
it must
for the sake of
all the footage that I have.
I don't want to be unfair to Uber or Lyft or anybody, and because this, you don't want to just slander a company just because of. I don't want to slander a company just because of drama because they don't know. They don't know. They can't necessarily take a side because they don't know what really went down. So. I don't necessarily blame them for any of the stuff that has happened to you. They're just being exploited, and you're being exploited, and evil human nature of the customers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and I don't know what more to do. I mean, I've complained to them. I sent them my YouTube videos. I'm just like,
well, there's not necessarily much recourse, man. There's probably ways to protect yourself that you didn't see. It's partly your fault for getting all those strikes. I bet there was stuff that you missed that either you should have known better, such as to play Hake in front of an angry black woman. Shout out.
Again, it's been 2 years and I've been playing you guys.
Yeah.
Every single day. I'm a 5-star driver.
Yeah, I know.
I've never received any complaint after the fact of me saying, hey, please don't eat my car.
Yeah, I know. These gals. And you were probably fake nice. That's probably what also bothered her. You're like, hi, how are you? or
how dare I?
Yeah. Oh, that phoniness. The blacks don't like you being The blacks don't like whites being all fake nice. They despise us for that. And polite.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, it's great hearing from you, Nathaniel, in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you called because I wanted to hear a little bit more of the story of how this went down.
Yeah, I wanted to call you yesterday about it as soon as I heard you talk about it on the JLP.
Yeah.
But I got caught up with trying to resolve these issues with Lyft. Well, here's the thing, too. With Uber, like I said, I was deactivated on Uber, too, and they're saying I'm an unsafe driver, but I send them my dash cam summaries, and it justifies my driving skills.
Nice.
Based off a percentage. And
well,
Uber, I'm a 94.
You'll have other opportunities, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Yep. That's what happens, though. That's life.
It is.
Yeah, and just accept what you brought on yourself. because you know the world is unfair. And
Absolutely.
so on a certain level, on many levels, you brought this on yourself. And it's no big deal.
It's really not. Because,
Yeah.
again, my defense is that, other people are playing music and probably other things that they want to listen to while they're driving. But I've learned that I shouldn't play anything. It should just be everyone is praying to God, and the silent prayer.
Don't go that
for
extreme, man. You're going to extremes. No, you play nice stuff. You play elevator. I don't know. You play whatever. Anyway, nice, interesting call, Nathaniel. Call me again, man.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Absolutely.
All right, take care. Bye. Woo. Yeah, that's what I was going to be pointing out. An Uber driver lost his job listening to Hake, and a rider complained. Anti-Hake discrimination. But I had questions. People do like being mad. That's crazy, man. I shake my head. Do I see another coffee? Another coffee came in. Over on buymeacoffee.com, it says, no more thoughts, bought a coffee. Should I read it? Shall I read it? It says, Hake, 3 hours? Is that what it says? Oh, Hake, how's your morning? It's lunch time. Oh, man. Pardon me. It's lunchtime here, all caps. Thanks for the world. Pardon me. Let me not overreact. It's lunchtime here. Thanks for the advice on the trade school mess. 2 Corinthians 9:8. God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. So to put into context, I was going to choose a tech career over my restaurant career because I was in a weird, dark place where I was not producing good fruit, he says, or she says. But changing careers isn't going to fix that. And I know now that my purpose is to do restaurant and that I am better off because now I'm able to enjoy tech as a hobby. God had told me that I was his chef. Wow, you're a chef? Dang. Or God's chef. Maybe not his personal chef. I'm not sure if he would have anything in mind that I would cook for him. But I can definitely cook for others. I may consider doing a restaurant schooling. Well, I wish you well. Not a victim with your 5 coffees? Thanks, man. It's lunchtime for you, huh? Sounds like you're in Central or Eastern time. Doxed. Time zone, general time zone doxed. Some people eat at 11, so you might be in Mountain Standard Time. Nice. Well, cool. Right on, man. Keep it up. Okay. I feel like there was something else that I wanted to hit over here from James Anton Hake. Maybe not. There was some Hake news items going, and some other things. This is sort of funny. This is sort of cool. You know, these blacks. This is from Huffington Post. Far left extremist, off the deep end liberal, out of control Huffington Compost. Trump's Black History Month proclamation. So he did a Black History Month proclamation after all. Not so surprisingly omits this important subject. And that's not a real headline. It's not a real headline. That's a stupid headline. But it got me to click. And because I knew that it was just blacks wanting to be mad. They love people, blacks or otherwise, love being offended. And then other people love being offended that other people are offended. The president, that's right, he is our greatest president, issued a proclamation recognizing February 2025 as so-called Black History Month. Oh, Lord. But one race equity expert, what kind of an expert is a race equity expert, has something to say about Trump's offensive statement. It's an article by Kimberly Richards last week on the 7th. Began in 1926 as Negro History Week, by the way, they say. Trump issued a proclamation recognizing it, blah, 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 despite his recent executive orders that gutted diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is not any good for blacks, by the way, or anybody else. Trump's official statement follows a tradition that has been in place nearly 3 decades. Can you call that a tradition? I call that newfangled, lame-o, kiss-up culture. It's not a real thing. It's a fake tradition. But I guess a lot of traditions are based on fake, false values. U.S. presidents have recognized annually a national so-called Black History Month with proclamation since evil 1996. That was when I was a freshman in high school, 1996. That was my first year of high school, February. Was within my first school year. Doxed. According to the Library of Congress, that would have been evil Bill Clinton, one of the worst presidents in the history of America, pushed the gay agenda. He instituted Don't Ask, Don't Tell. He let the gays into the military. He just said, don't tell. What a snake, huh? And then Obama said, tell it. I shake my head. Trump himself had issued annual proclamations during his first term as president. Yep. But Trump's proclamation this year, unlike his previous ones, noticeably did not explicitly address themes related to the country's history of racial discrimination. The phony drama. He began his 2020 proclamation with the recognition that black, I wonder if he capitalized the B in the word black, Americans have enhanced and advanced every aspect of American life. Oh, Lord. Do you feel enhanced, Nathaniel, by that black woman in your American life in every aspect? Through bravery, perseverance, faith, and resolve, often in the face of incredible prejudice and hardship. I doubt Trump wrote that, but shout out. He read it, though. He must sort of agree with it somewhat. And even on other proclamations issued prior, he is a boomer, right? During his first term, 2019, 2018, 2017, mentioned words like resilience. Blacks are so resilient. Or egregious discrimination. His 2019 proclamation began with recognition that the year 1619 marked the start of the slave trade in what was to become the United States. It was from this immoral origin, through inhuman conditions, discrimination, and prolonged hardship, that emerged the vibrant culture. See all this kiss-up language, right? Pretending like they suffered all this stuff. Singular accomplishments and groundbreaking triumphs that we honor and celebrate National African American History Month. I shake my head and want to spit. But Trump's more toned-down 2025 proclamation seemed to focus primarily on celebrating the contributions of lowercase b black, oh yeah, American patriots who have indelibly shaped our nation's history. Yeah, some great individuals. That's right, patriots. That's right. JLP, Clarence Thomas, maybe Thomas Sowell, maybe Walter Williams, somewhat. With no clear mention of racial inequities. Right, we don't mention all that victimhood mess, discrimination, or the legacy of slavery. That's a good legacy, by the way. The proclamation recognized historical figures such as Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman. I mean, when I was a kid, I was taught that she was like a heroine. Not exactly, but as well as living people like economist Thomas Sowell, Justice Clarence Thomas, and golf legend Tiger Woods. He's not that black. He's okay. I mean, he doesn't even join himself with that group because his dad was Asian, right? Their achievements which have monumentally advanced the tradition of equality under the law in our great nation, continue to serve as inspiration for all Americans, stated Trump's statement. So this Shaun, S-H-A-U-N, Harper, a professor of education, business, and public policy at USC, University of Southern California, called it sanitized and incomplete. And he capitalized the B in the word black. America's black history includes slavery, Jim Crow, separate and unequal schooling, redlining, racial violence. Blacks are far more racially violent than whites. Give me a break. Against whites than whites are against blacks. And far too many well-documented inequities, he told HuffPost. A sanitized proclamation that fails to acknowledge any of this is incomplete and inconsistent with prior years. Shaun Harper says, don't wish us a Black History Month after having spat on the graves of black, capital B, heroes and sheroes. Sheroes? It's heroines who died in pursuit of unfulfilled promises to us. It's offensive. What a sucker woman, huh? Or male. I don't know if Shaun is a man or woman. S-H-A-U-N. They called it hypocritical. So they want to promote black victimhood. That's all they want to do is promote the fake history of black victimhood. So they can stay mad. As Booker T said, as JLP said, keep them angry to control them. Feel important. They don't want to be happy. They don't want to be happy. They want to be mad. They love their hell. You love to be offended. And then whites, some of us, will love to be offended at their dumb offense. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Yes, I do, tennis shoe. Yeah, so DEI is evil, anti-black. Affirmative action, anti-black. Minimum wage, anti-black. We need our black jobs, like Trump said. Get rid of that fake critical race theory stuff, anti-black. But it's pro-black-hearted, evil heart. And so they think that it's good for the victim groups. What a mess. And they go off about what he did in this Defense Department, getting rid of that mess. Identity Month's dead at DOD. They're just mad because they're not in charge anymore. Losers! Shout out. David in Ocala, Florida is on the line over here. David, how you doing, man?
What's happening, Hake?
Hey.
You glad that Kansas City got beat bad, man? I loved it.
I did too. I don't know if it's right, but I really appreciated Kansas City losing.
Yeah. So hey, are you chasing a fly around that?
I did. I grabbed there was some type of fly or something, and I think I got him.
Yeah. Well, you brought up, I'm going to talk about the gays in a second, but you brought up Mitch McConnell. He's a prime example of why we need term limits, okay?
Maybe.
And they call what happened to him, they call him turning off, being turned off. Okay?
Yeah.
Al Roker did that one morning, and you probably can find the video, okay? And, dude, he was, like, frozen. Okay, frozen. I mean, just froze.
Yeah.
Just like Mitch.
Yep.
Did you see that video before?
I don't know if I've seen the Al Roker one where he froze. I don't.
Okay.
I don't even remember whether Al Roker is black or white or what.
Mm-hmm.
Is he black?
Well, yeah, he's black.
Okay.
He's the guy who lost a lot of weight.
I know Big Boy lost a lot of weight. But that's probably not Al Roker. Big Boy is a DJ, a radio DJ here in Southern California, Power 106.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, Power 106.
Yeah, he used to be fat, and now he doesn't even look right, but he's skinny. But I wish him well.
Well,
not to be confused with Al Sharpton, who also lost a lot of weight. Al Sharpton was also really fat. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Al Sharpton, what a freaking grifter.
Yep. I know.
I mean, if you can't see that these people have had an agenda for a long time, man, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But that kid that was you had on earlier, the kid that was out there trying to preach to the gays.
Yeah.
He's young, and I guess he's trying his best, but he just ain't wired up yet because when he gets older, he'll figure out that God's the one that did that to them people, and so I wouldn't even waste my time on him. Okay.
Interesting take. So you're saying that God turned those people over to
reprobate mind.
A reprobate mind, because they were so into their evil that they. So you think gay is the only reprobate mind? LGBT is
no. There's other ones, but that's one of it because they just don't even. It says in the Bible they don't even think about God.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Some of them do, though, right? Don't some of them don't?
Well,
don't some of them turn?
They say they do, but man, listen,
do any of them repent?
Getting it on. Don't tell me two dudes getting it on that you got. Man, that is an abomination. God talks about it.
I agree. But don't you think that some of us normal people do abominations and are in a reprobate mind, and then we repent? Where did you? My question is, how did you? I've heard it before. Many other Christians do it, but how did you come to the conclusion that once you're gay or LGBT and you're into that stuff, calling yourself that and being all proud and all into that? How did you come to the conclusion that that is the reprobate mind, not worth any outreach, if you will? Outreach being a Christian word, right?
Not like he's doing it. Now, if I was going to go there, I'd just have a sign and let them read it. I'm not going to sit there and talk with a microphone.
No, but where did you get the notion that the gay, that the gays are all of a reprobate mind, not worth anything?
No, I didn't say they're not worth anything.
Well, no, but where did you get that they're a reprobate? Where did you get the how did you draw the conclusion that they are of a reprobate mind, that God turned them over to a reprobate mind?
Because it talks about it in the Bible. It talks about how they burned for men, and so God just turned them over to be reprobates because, it's such an abomination to God because it's against the law of God. Adam had his rib taken out and, woman was created through man like that. And so it's just a total abomination. It's just the devil. I mean, it's just the devil, man. It's just pure evil. It says in the Revelation, it says there'll be no effeminates in heaven.
Right. Yeah, the effeminate.
Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't tell them the truth or something, but I just don't like the way that those people approach those people because they're so negative. Like that black guy, I'm a preacher.
Yeah.
You're not showing love. You're not supposed to judge. I mean, that's why we're in the shape we're in now because people didn't stand up to these people. Remember, they just wanted to be acknowledged. Now you got gay pride, drag queen story hour. It's off the charts crazy. And then the kids started, changing sexes.
Yeah.
It's just full blown.
Were you ever of a reprobate mind?
No.
You weren't. So you, in your fallen state, you were never as bad as these gays.
Well, I always knew there was a God, and I was always worried that if I did wrong, I knew it. I just knew in my heart that I was doing wrong. Okay, there's a difference between being a sinner and then being a full-blown reprobate.
What's the difference?
God turns you over to that. God makes you like that. He says, "Okay, I had enough of you. Boom, I'm gonna let you do what you're doing." Like P. Diddy, he's a prime example.
Well, we don't know what
going.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I do. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can just go over a cliff.
I don't.
Man.
But I don't know
over a cliff.
I don't really see myself as different from these people. I don't see myself as in my fallen state having been better than them just because I'm not into this stuff that they're into. Okay, so let me read this whole context since you brought it up, okay? The invisible things of God of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, understood by the things that were made. This is Romans what? Verse 20? Blah, 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 blah. Romans 1, verse 20. Oh, Lord, the ad comes up. Being
That's
understood
it,
from what was...
21. It's
Because
20,
of
yeah,
that,
21.
when they... I don't think it's 21 yet. Because of that, when they knew God... Okay. Even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that, when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were they thankful to God, but they became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Doesn't that apply to you and me? Vain in our imaginations, our foolish heart darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. That's all of us. We wise in our own eyes. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man. That applies. And to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Yep. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts. Everybody's lustful. To dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Who changed the truth of God, I'm scrolling down extra so I don't have to look at that ad, into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust toward one another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and recognizing in themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat. I don't know what was meat means. And God, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. For example, I think is what it's implying, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding. These are all not gay stuff, not just gay stuff. Backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things. Oops, I already read that. Disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have the pleasure in them that do them. They're like, come on, drink, 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 like, or you need
You're
to get
correct.
laid.
I'm not just saying. I'm not just saying that God turns gays over to reprobate minds.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
how do you
saying
say that you're? Didn't you do unrighteousness, fornication? Not. You don't have to say that. But envy,
I did.
murder
Sure
in
I
your
did.
heart, debate.
I didn't
deceit.
murder nobody, though.
Right, but in your heart, like you're kind of a malicious, murderous type of person.
I get what you're saying. I'm not saying I'm better than them. I'm just making a point, okay? I'm making a point that those people chose that, okay? They chose to be that way. And it's like, listen, if you're shooting a heroin, you need to stop doing it, okay? You need to repent. So it's the same thing. I mean, if you're in a crack house smoking crack 24/7 and blah blah blah,
right?
You need to repent of that. Okay?
I agree.
So it's not just the gays, man. It's just if you keep going with sin, you're going to end up in a bad spot. Is basically what I'm saying.
I feel like God gave us all over to a reprobate mind. Do you know? I don't think it's any specific special evil people evil perverts that God only gave them over. And then he redeemed, and then that's how he redeemed some of us, maybe.
Well, all right. Well, I'm just saying, if the kid, I'm not going to go out and start preaching to some gay rally like that. Man.
Yeah,
you're wasting your time.
You might, and I don't disagree with you on that. I don't know. I don't necessarily. On that preacher who was doing that preaching on, I don't know if you caught Punchie TV yesterday. Did you happen to catch Punchie TV yesterday?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But you heard the clip that I played with the preacher arguing with the gay black guy
Right. That's what I saw.
So I wasn't sure what to think of it. Joel made a decision, I think, and he may be perceived rightly, that this preacher had no love. What you described may have been called casting your pearls, if you want to call them pearls, before swine. But
well, he's trying his best. He's just young, and he's trying to go out and save the world. And when you get older, you realize you can't do that. You can't save the world. I mean, you can help people, but do you really think those people are going to just give up? I mean, they get angry, they get upset. They want it even more when you confront them. Remember, they just wanted to be acknowledged so many years ago. Now look where we're at.
Yeah, I know. No, they don't. They never. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You don't give an inch.
They took a mile.
Oh yeah.
What's weird is there's some anti-gay videos on YouTube from the early '60s or something. They're black and white.
Yeah.
And they used to play that stuff on television to warn people about gay men.
Right. Yep. Yeah, because it's not right, and it's bringing in all kinds of problems. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking my call, man, and have a great day. And thanks for letting me chat about this, because I just want people to realize that it's not. Those people have made a decision to be that way. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And God help them.
So
God help them.
This decision thing, I don't agree that they chose it.
Think they're born that way?
No, I don't think that they're born that way, nor did they choose it. I think that different people get twisted in different ways. My theory of people's perversions is there's a type of person, if you will, who will fall into cigarettes or alcohol or
addictive personalities.
Yeah, or
I'm one of them.
Prone to debating too much, or prone to going off, or philandering, or the gay thing, especially when they're promoting it like crazy. Because they're targeting kids. They being the adults, the mama evil spirit adults, promoting it to kids, making it seem cool and like it's a good thing, and it's not. So I think
it might be a mixture of both. What do you think about it? Because listen, there was a kid on the show called Who's the Boss back in the 80s.
I remember that show.
That kid was flaming gay at 7 years old. I looked him up about a couple months ago, and he's married to a dude, okay?
Oh.
So how's that? How can a 7-year-old kid already be flamboyant and just
the mama got
gay
to him
at 7?
The mama, the evil spirit got to him early. Because you think about it, you turned... I kind of liked girls a little bit at 5. I remember at 5 years old, I had like a little crush on the one white girl in class.
The one white girl?
Yeah, because everybody else is like kind of Mexican, maybe an Asian, maybe a Jewish gal. So
you knew you weren't gay, huh?
I didn't even know that existed. I didn't hear about gays.
You like girls at 5.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Wonder Woman. I was like, how come they let
Mine
girls...
was Farrah Fawcett, dude.
I was like,
Farrah
how come
Fawcett
they let girls wear these bathing suits that looks like underwear? Whereas guys get to wear shorts. I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, I think that you don't necessarily choose your perversion. Yes, you agree with the devil. The devil talks in your mind, if you will, and it gives you this thought, this gay thought, or this lustful thought, or this I'm going to drink, I need a drink thought, and you agree with the devil and obey the devil. So in that sense, I can sort of go along with the choice thing. But I think that they gave us a false dilemma when they said, are you born that way or did you choose it? And nobody chooses sin. People are born in sin, right?
Yeah, but they don't even think they're sinning, bro. They think that's normal for them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be like me going out and robbing a bank and killing 4 people and saying, "Oh, it's just normal for me to be this way."
But didn't you do some sins and you're like, oh, don't you do some things that you would call sins? And after a while, you couldn't believe it when you were a kid and you first took your drink or whatever. I don't know if you thought drinking was a sin, or sex out of wedlock, and then you start crossing the line over and over again, and you just start to accept it, throw up your hands, and say, I'm human. I can't help it.
Right. well, I got drunk the first time I was about 10 and a half and got sick as a dog, man, off vodka and orange juice. So I was real careful after that. Okay.
Good for you.
Not to, I didn't really like drinking that much. I'm more like, I like smoking pot, so.
Well, I disavow.
It helped my, I already had post-traumatic stress disorder by the time I was like 12 years old, man.
Because of your home life?
It helped me. Yeah, because that stuff I told you about before,
with the stepdad and the mom.
That Jim Bowie knife on my mom's second husband, that kind of stuff. So, so I understand. I have empathy for people that go through,
I got it.
Stress like that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't right,
right.
But that's the fallen state you're talking about. No child like this. I lived in 12 different places by the time I was 13 years old. That is just, you should never let put a child in a position like that. You follow what I'm saying?
I sort of do. I'm so glad I never moved when I was a kid.
Dude, I went to five different elementary schools by the 5th grade. Okay?
Wow.
And I finally, my 5th grade teacher got me up, and then my 6th grade reading teacher got me up to reading level, and because I was so young, dude. I told you when I went in the 6th grade, I was only 10 years old, and I turned 11 in December.
Oh, you were young for your class.
Young kid. But I have a lot of empathy for people that have gone through tons of struggles.
Yeah, I mean, that's the gays, though. A lot of the gay kids, they get molested. I don't know if it's because they're girly already, and so that attracts the molesters, or if they're just the molester. I don't know. It's like some spirit. I don't know. But anyway, I got to keep it moving.
I know you got to go, man, but before you go, I just want to say this. God, Jesus is merciful.
Yeah.
And he will not do anything unholy to somebody that doesn't have it coming to them, okay? So I just want to get that straight, because I'm not trying to judge these people. I'm not the one that's going to, make the final say-so. I'm just saying that most people don't realize that these people want this, okay? They want it, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Have a great...
Take care.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, take care, man. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Bye. Oh, get excited. I'm going to play some Shooby Taylor. But, while I'm thinking about this, let me schedule the redirect for Joel Friday TV. He is going to be going live right after Hake. Joel Friday TV. Oh, Joel, I don't know if you're I don't know if you're set up. Come over here and give me the thumbs up when you're set up and it's public and whatever. William, number 7 out of California. What's up, William, number 7? How you doing?
Wow. Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can, and I appreciate you hanging in there.
Oh, excellent. That was quite a very lengthy and thorough call on the subject.
Yeah.
A subject.
Well, pardon me if I went too long. Go ahead.
No, sir. This is your show, so I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Well, I like honest feedback, though. I like constructive criticism or even destructive criticism.
No. Is it okay to criticize
Definitely.
David in Ocala?
Sure.
David, what the? No, I actually called originally because you had played that senator that froze.
Yeah.
Remember yesterday I told you I was a first responder and a CPR first aid instructor?
That's right.
So the TIA stands for transient ischemic attack. Some people think it's actually the A stands for aneurysm.
Ooh.
This depends on which one you're looking at. And so that was very, 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 I guess, alarming. You said it was because me having a medical background and helping people and just having a heart to help people.
Yeah.
That was weird that it was because it's a timed event. They only have so much time on the floor.
Right.
I also noticed there was not very many people around. Like it almost seemed like the chamber was empty.
Yeah.
Did you? So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
So it's who knows how our government's really ran. I remember watching years before COVID, the C-SPAN version of Parliament in England. I remember this one guy who had white hair going everywhere, kind of like Floyd from Dumb and Dumber. He had that look going on. And I remember them carrying on about stuff that they were holding their laughs back. And I'm like, is this entertainment or is this really how their parliament runs? So I remember once I started watching it, because who watches C-SPAN, right? But I got intrigued and started watching it. And when I realized it might have been a bunch of show, just entertainment, I stopped watching it. So if our government is doing the same thing, so anyway, so that guy, so the fact that he froze, but here's the other thing. He went from about ready to dime people out about, if you remember what the senator was talking about, both sides of the House having control, and he went, they're not going to say nothing, and it was like he was about ready to spill the beans on something, and he goes silent. And then all of a sudden his demeanor changes, calm, and it's like, it's weird. It makes you want to think maybe that, what's that, MK Ultra might be real. I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
That's interesting. I don't know what the answer is either, man. It's
no, who does, and who even knows that video's even real? What if that whole thing is just deep fake? We really don't know.
House and Senate.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to play the audio, but
it's all right.
I'm just showing how this guy's acting all bold, and all of a sudden he furrows his brow and puts his head down and starts moving his lips and sort of freezes and talks kind of slow.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that movement is resembled, if you ever known people who've been on drugs and maybe certain types, and when they move their mouth like that. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe they did something and a little pill exploded in them. I don't know.
That's funny that you're going into conspiracies.
What? Did I say that?
Oh, sorry.
I'm just trying to explain. I'm trying to figure out, because like I said, I've had to respond. I've been the only difference between a first responder and an EMT is the on-the-job training. You have to work in a hospital or an ambulance for a number of hours or months or weeks, however long it takes to do so many hours. And so some people take a couple weeks. Some people can, depending on if they're busy or if it's a second job, it might take them a few months to get the. So that's the only difference between EMT and a first responder.
Okay.
Is So it was very interesting. Is all I wanted to say, and then I'm not going to touch about the gays. That's a pretty hot subject in churches. I used to open air preach as well when I was going to church. I preach anywhere. Yeah.
I can kind of picture it. That's cool. Even though nice, man. So have you talked to gays like that?
They can get pretty
in your
what
face.
Would you describe that? I guess that they get triggered. I guess.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
I just think with all addictions, I like how you put it. We can all get in our own mess, and just because I struggle with this, but you struggle with that, and even though David said he wasn't thinking he was better, but I just think it's environment,
Yeah.
And then if it happens at a young age, oh my goodness, what chance do you have of coming out of that? Because I will tell you personally, every one of my vices, when I did start studying the Word and wanting to be the best man that I could be in God's image, the addictions and the traps that I was able to get out of happened in reverse order in how I got into them.
Okay.
In other words, the ones that I started at an early age,
those hung in there a longer time.
Way tougher to get rid of, and because it's programming. You live, your brain and your mind is how you live.
Yeah, that's true. Physically, your brain makes these pathways so that there's like a crazy habit that you don't even, before you know it, you're doing stuff that you don't even.
And what the beat do you expect?
Yeah, interesting, man. That's why you be patient with people.
Yeah, and so I think So anyway, it's pretty crazy. I live in California, and yes, do know people in that community, and it can be scary because they seem to be everywhere, and they don't really care. They're not hiding it anymore.
Yeah,
that way.
Yep.
And so
they're making everybody else hide. They're making the normal people hide. They want the Christians in the closet.
Well, all it is when we say abomination, it means it goes against You even quoted it. You were saying the word there. It's not natural,
right?
Because two men can't make a baby, and
it's not even real S.
So it's So if we were all to go down those roads, then the human race would end, and then I guess it'd be all over. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know Revelation did say that if God didn't step in the end, no flesh would live. So it kind of sounds like it's similar. It could be one of the reasons, contributing factors, perhaps, maybe. I don't know.
I appreciate it,
I'm
William.
gonna let you go.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Have a good one, and peace out.
Call again. Take care.
All right.
Bye. And Alan out of Michigan, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
Whoa, I'm on already.
You better be on now or never because I gotta come to an end in the next 8 minutes here.
Oh well, I'll
7.
Make this quick.
Cool.
Good show. Interesting. You've drawn me in again.
Nice.
I only got in on about for 15 minutes, but I did. Okay, there are two things I wanted to. The guy Nathaniel from Wisconsin, former Uber driver, guy got fired, and interesting story and all that. And I thought, typical. This is nothing more than what happened in the communist countries.
Yeah.
And the Stasi would come in. They wouldn't take you away off in the night. Well, that did happen.
Right.
But, if you said something wrong or it was politically incorrect,
yep.
Well, maybe we'll give you that job. You won't be sweeping the floors. You'll be cleaning the toilets.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. It is communism.
Exactly.
It's devilish. It's neighbor turning a neighbor.
Exactly.
So much for love thy neighbor.
Yeah, right. Now I believe it was the African Hebrew Israelite that called in. I kind of missed the first part, but you do have a caller. I think his name is John from Tennessee, who's
Kentucky
Black Israelite.
Yep, John from Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, Kentucky.
Yep.
Thank you. And kind of angry, bitter, but in a way I can sympathize. Now, I don't agree with that blacks are Israelites.
Right.
In fact, I take the opposite position. I believe most whites are, but that's a whole different discussion. I don't want to get into that right now.
Fair enough.
But it's very interesting how powerful the Word of God can be. And I think, you know what, if this guy, if he's, mistaken in the Black Israelite thing, if he's reading and applying the Bible to his life, more power to him.
That's how I feel about it. A lot of these Black Hebrew Israelite guys, they're turning their lives around. They're having families. They're just because they're into the black thing. We're all into all kinds of wrong lies. But if your heart becomes of love, which I don't know if John from Kentucky necessarily is, but if your heart is of love, then God will fix your opinions later. It's not the that's not the most urgent thing. Let the flat earther be a flat earther. Let the Black Hebrew Israelite be into his thing. That's not.
Yeah. Now I was. I don't listen to your program every day because I have what's called a life. And I got to do things.
Nice.
But I did hear JLP's for a broadcast, and he was doing a critique on MLK, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, these people, and even your former callers said MLK, Jesse Jackson. I know something about that because I lived in Illinois, and Reverend Wright, and what the skinny guy that's lost all the weight.
Al Sharpton.
Yes. Yeah. These are all put up by, and I'll use the word, white devils.
Wow. Interesting.
White devils.
Not normal whites.
No. white devils. These are the rulers, the bankers, the upper crust.
Ooh.
You know what the definition of upper crust is? A bunch of crumbs held together by dough.
I gotcha. Shout out.
All right. A little humor.
There you go.
Very little. But when I've met blacks that would be much better leaders and rulers of their people, a lot of them, and I'll put in JLP for that too.
Nice. Well, as JLP says, it's better for blacks not to have leaders. Let Christ be your leader, and not another
amen
man.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it brings me to something, and I'm just going to back up a little bit.
I'm going to have to wrap it up shortly here, so if you can make your
Okay,
point
real
in
quick,
30
real
seconds or
quick.
less. Yeah, cool.
Well, you know what? I will leave this for another thing. It's about the country of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, and what they are doing. They're revolting against the wicked, evil economic system that has been placed on them, which is really neocolonialism.
Interesting. All right. I look forward to hearing this feature from you another day when you're able to call in amidst your
Would
life.
Friday be better?
Any day you like, man. You can call in. If Friday doesn't matter if it's Friday. Sometimes I may or may not have a guest or whatever, but yeah, call me when it suits you.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking my call today.
Yeah, thank you, man. Great call. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I like that he made the point about the communists and the Stasi, because that's true. I didn't even think of that. We're so used to swimming in this communism. I'm laughing because I say communism all the time, but it's true. I gotta end though, guys. Let's hear the Black National Anthem.
Blacks, let's not forget where we came from. Let's learn to love and respect each other. Shooby Taylor. Shoo su su wa, shri da, shra la la we do saw, shra la la ha, we de blah, we de saw da ra, la da da shri, lo pum pa, la da da shra, we de saw, la da da ra, we da da saw, peepaw, little baby, little baby, we da ra, sa la ha, sa la ra, sa la ha, ya, we da saw, ha ba da shra, ra ba da pa, little baby, shra, little baby, we should be spa, shabala raw, fiddly doot de spa, shabala raw, sweetly paw, fiddly raw, ishra, fiddly do the la, baby, fiddly do the la,
This is Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Shri shra shabala ra shala ra sala ibsily blobby shra sa ra shabala ra bala ra bala shra fiddly baby ra slido be do we fiddly do spla love it do sweet do raw shala shala blah ida fiddly do that ding do raw.
Mildly awful. Air organ. This is the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing. Isn't it so nice? I love it. It's maybe Christian. At least this version. Wild Friday coming up next.
Sweet shara, sabala rasala rasala poda, shrada sa, shabala rasala rasala ha, fiddly dada, draw fiddly do be do way, fiddly wind do spa, dada do wind fiddly do do draw, love it do way, fiddly do the la, fiddly do wobbly, baby do baby do wait to straw.
Bye guys.